will set your brain apart. No one can replace your heart.
Read me a book just the other day, taught me to see things a whole new way. Said my problems were just opportunities, if I could only learn to change the way I see. So I counted up my assets just like it said to do. Here's what I found that I can offer you. I've got 30 things I can't sell, car in the driveway that's broke as hell, $75,000 in debt, college degree that ain't been paid off yet. One sterling silver necklace a friend gave to me, and 39 years experience living in poverty. Well, I scratched my head at the bits I found, but I didn't quit yet, the advice seemed sound. Woo! Told me to keep a tally and to take measure of all the things I found, my hidden treasure. So I counted up my assets just like it said to do. Here's a few more things I can offer you. I got a voice like an angel, you can order it to go. I can write you a song, poem, or book, you know. I can teach you to paint or to draw if you please. I can speak to a large group or small with great ease. I can offer a couch to the wealthy who seek a unique experience, living poor for $5,000 a week. Woo! Felt so much better as I wrote down this letter. All I need now is people who pay. A little money goes a very long way, and maybe this'll be a great story to tell. If only I can find someone who'll buy the things I can sell. Ooh.
Time to go live. Alright, guys. So, I'm going to bring you back to where we were writing and chatting. Week 3, actually. Ha ha ha. We started out here. We started out defining our hero, getting an idea for what obstacles we were going to be facing, our various characters that were going to appear. We even wrote a single-page synopsis. And then, last week happened, and things went off the rails. So I'll start by reading Chapter 2, An Unexpected Shipment. Mortus wandered down to the post office box of his apartment to check the mail. A large box was propped against his box with his name on it. I wasn't expecting anything. I wonder who sent this, he mused as he picked up the box. After grabbing the mail out of the box. Man, how many times can you say box in 2 sentences, basically? He carried everything upstairs. Obviously, this is a rough draft. We're not going to keep keeping this. He dropped the box on his bed and reached for his pocket knife. He inspected the shipping notification for a hint as to who sent it and why, but all it had was the name of a company he didn't recognize. Weird. He shrugged and chalked it up to the possibility that he forgot about some contest he'd entered and maybe won something. He whistled as he opened the box. Damn. He reached inside and inspected the contents. The box contained a clay mold of an Arctic monkey god, along with 3 ounces of catnip and a bunch of military-grade weapons. He froze. What the heck, man? You know, it really helps. It really helps if I point the microphone at my face instead of having it down at the, pointed at the table. We're starting this stream off with wonderful shenanigans. Hey, Timothy! Good to see you. What is going on in here? A lot of craziness. Alright. He'd not received a shipment like this in more than 20 years. He decided to check out the company name on the box, hoping to find some clues as to who might have sent it. The company name was in Chinese. He was a bit rusty on the translation, but he thought it worked out to Ding Jing Tao. A quick internet search showed it to be an international trading company, but not a lot more data. He flipped through the About section on the site and his eyes spotted a familiar face. Someone from his military days. His former chief petty officer, Mike Daniels. This was no ordinary package. This was a call to a mission, but he'd retired. Of course, did one ever really retire from his line of work? He sighed. First Hawkeye, now this. He picked up the phone and dialed a number he thought he'd never call again. Mike? In the flesh, you got my package? Mike's voice sounded tired. Yeah, you could have given me a heads up. I wasn't expecting it, Mortus chided. That's the point. Plausible deniability. If the package went missing, you'd never know. If you received it, I trusted you to figure out what to do about it, Mike explained. I'm retired, Mortus objected. Not anymore. You know the drill. Your country needs you, Mike said. His voice held a note of unrelenting steel. What about what I need? Mortus asked, knowing the answer to the question. What you need is irrelevant, soldier. Your orders are inside the mold, Mike said before hanging up. Mortus wanted to know what the heck the catnip was for, but he suspected that would be explained in the mission briefing. Man, this is going to wreck my stream. I'm too old for this crap. He frowned as he pulled open the mold. There, tucked inside it, was a small envelope giving him a secure server address, a login, and a unique identifier to use in logging into it. 15 minutes later, his eyebrows rose. This wasn't just any mission. It was a rescue mission. And the subject of the rescue? Hawkeye. No wonder his friend hadn't been active in Discord. He was in real trouble. And Lauren, just by visiting his house, could be in trouble too. The people who kidnapped Hawkeye were bound to be watching his place, just looking to catch anyone associated with him. He began loading the guns into an empty guitar case. Sorry, Celeste, he said to his favorite guitar. I'm going to need to borrow this for a while. I've got a mission to complete. Sven hopped up on the bed beside the box and peered inside before looking up at Mortus. Yeah, no monkey business for you, my boy, Mortus told him, plucking out the catnip before shutting the box and setting it in his closet. Have some catnip. Mortus wasn't sure catnip had the same effect on monkeys that it did on cats, but Sven seemed amused by it. Mortus frowned. Who was going to take care of Sven while he was gone? He didn't exactly have time to look up a pet sitter. It was kind of late, and even as intelligent as Sven was, he wasn't exactly capable of looking after himself. He could only think of one person who could handle Sven, his little sister. He picked up the phone and dialed her number. Essie, you busy? Essie sounded sleepy. Not anymore. What can I do for you? Mortus sighed. I need you to look after Sven for me. I've got an assignment I'll need to handle, and I'm not sure when I'll be back for him. Essie sounded more alert. I thought you were through with taking on assignments. What happened? Mortus frowned. I got an offer I couldn't refuse. I can't tell you more. Can you take care of Sven for me? Essie nodded. Sure can. Leave him in his cage. I'll swing by and pick him up tomorrow. Mortus breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks. That was one less problem he needed to take care of. One less thing on his mind. Now to focus on the real problem. Rescuing Hawkeye. Hey, Malachi! Good to see you, man. Just reading back through what we wrote last week. He tossed a few things into a suitcase. There were just two things he needed to include. His J-rig system and his portable guitar. The portable guitar was an invention of his that could collapse down and be folded into a carry-on luggage container without worries about being damaged. The J-rig would allow him to stream anytime he had access to internet and time. He wasn't sure he'd get the time or the opportunity, but it was his best hope. At the very least, with his guitar and the system, he'd be able to keep creating channel content. People wouldn't suspect he was away from home. It might make all the difference in his mission's success. Hang in there, brother. I'm coming for you, he said as he finished up and tucked Sven into his cage for the night before setting his alarm for 2 a.m. That only gave him 4 hours of sleep before he had to be up and getting himself out the door into the airport, but it would have to do. Chapter 3. Touchdown, Nashville. It was hours before dawn when Mortus arrived at the Des Moines airport. He slid through security without a single hitch. The attendants looked bored and tired. He felt the same. He boarded the plane at 5 a.m. that morning, bound for Nashville, Tennessee. The intel they had on the last known whereabouts of the kidnappers showed they'd taken Hawkeye into the national park around Mammoth Caves. It was a perfect hiding spot, easy to get lost if you didn't know exactly where you were going. Apparently I missed a word in there. The question on Mortus's mind, why Hawkeye? What was he involved in that made him a target? The people who had him were well known in the arms dealing ecosystem. How had Hawkeye gotten tangled up with them? Oh, doom, doom, doom. It probably would help. It probably would help my stream a lot if Ubi were playing acoustic guitar in the background. But, you know, you take what you can get, right? Alright. Hey, kitty cat. How you doing? We're writing today. Now, a couple of questions from my audience. First of all, we wrote that Spin was given to his sister Essie for her to take care of, but then I had a change of heart and a change of thought. What if the condition for him going was that Spin be allowed to come with him? Because Spin is our monkey, and Spin might actually be helpful. Let's see. Let's go back, and you can see the monkey. There's Spin. Eek, eek. So, Spin might be useful on a mission like this. So we can either leave Spin with Essie and decide whether we need him to come in later, or we can go back, we can edit the chapter previous, make being allowed to bring Spin a condition. Since the U.S. government's buying the tickets, that won't be a problem for him money-wise. And we can include Spin in the story moving forward. I want you to put your decision in the chat. What do you think we should do? As I told you at the beginning of this whole thing, this is a rough draft. We are I don't know how to make a poll, baby. If I knew how to make a poll, I probably would. There we go. Start a poll. Okay, all right. Okay.
Too many characters. You don't have to.
All right, we're doing a poll. You guys can vote in the poll. Well, all right. So I'll be waiting for you guys to make your decision. Now we gotta figure out what might impact what Hawkeye does. Thank you. He brought me chocolate. Emergency chocolate. Medicinal chocolate, if you will. Alright. If we're allowing Mortus to bring Spin, means we gotta go back and rewrite that section. Which is fine. Here we go. Alright, so that clears up what the catnip's for. Alright. There we go. Now we have seamlessly worked little crazy monkey. Yes, Spin is the monkey, Malachi. I apologize if I did not clearly articulate. It is not Spin, but Sven. Oh no! Well, I'm glad you figured out how to fix it, Malachi. Alright. Do-do-do. Alright, so he doesn't need to frown. He knows who's taking care of Spin. And alright, so that cleans up that. Let's make sure we've got 3 pages. I kind of like to keep chapters 3 pages or so. So that fixes that problem. We've now got Spin coming with us on the mission. I'm not yelling at you. That's okay. It just means I failed to articulate, not you. Don't worry about it, Tim. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So, all right. So now they've landed. Now the next thing is, let's see. Let's ask you a question. What is going to happen to Mortus next? Give me some feedback, y'all. Give me some ideas for where we want to take this story. We could have a blowout. We could have someone hijack him. We could do any number of things. Oh, the airline lost his luggage. I love that idea. Because especially considering what's in the luggage. I love it. The luggage has his guns and his instructions. And some of his clothes, of course. drink a shrunken's heads and a bottle of rum. Thoughts are just appearing. Hey, Will. Good to see you. All right. Still not posting, but you're doing. um, well, sometimes the best thing to do when you're not feeling it is to do it anyway. Sometimes that feeling of discouragement, that feeling like it doesn't matter, that feeling like you just don't have it to give, is actually something trying to keep you from your best stuff. I've often learned that showing up when I least feel like it results in some of the best stuff happening, and that it was really just an outside influence trying to stop me from getting the really good stuff that was headed my way. But having said that, you do you. It's not me telling you what to do, but I am encouraging you to consider whether the feeling is something you should follow or something that might be trying to stop you from doing what you were born to do. Just a thing to consider. Trying to focus on you and your family later. Your kid's 23rd birthday was yesterday. Well, congratulations for that. You overdid it this week in the garage, Timmy? That's not cool. Oh my. I think sometimes we all feel like we're aging like milk. Let's see. Lady, I don't think that's going to do anything for me, he said, handing it back. What's in this won't help me with my essential tasks. Well, cottage cheese isn't that bad. kind of car should we have him driving for this mission? Oh, you know what? Life is both the good and the bad. Suffering is fertilizer for the soul, man. It's where you grow. Well, this is from a rental car, so I can't imagine they would put him in a Ford Pinto. I don't even know if they buy those for... Okay, so what's a Volare? Tell me about that. An e-bike? Oh, that would be beautiful. Okay. Oh. Oh, Lord. I like the e-bike. I like it. So, alright. I have a reservation for a rental vehicle, he said as he slid over the paper that Mike sent in his email. Well, there's a problem with that, the attendant said with a grimace. A problem? Mortus asked. Yes. We're all out of the reserved fleet vehicles the government allows. All we've got left is one e-bike, he explained. But I promise it's top of class. Mike stared at the man. You got to be kidding me. The attendant shook his head. I'm afraid not, sir. I'm afraid not. How am I supposed to fit this carry-on, myself, and that monkey on an e-bike, he growled, his patience thinning. We can affix a basket to it if you prefer, the attendant suggested helpfully. You want an e-bike? They can't legally drive your car because of health conditions. They yanked your privileges. You know, that's not an idea. That's not a bad idea. Well, the monkey doesn't know how to play the guitar. But although it might be something for him to train the monkey to do. I don't know. Okay, so Mortus is going to ask the question that I recommend no human being ever ask in the history of ever. Yep. Can this day get any worse? And then, as if in answer to his question, it began to rain. Not a small, slow, gentle rain, but the kind that left him and Sven soaking wet by the time they arrived at the new drop point. Sven, he dismounted from the bike, stinking of wet monkey, with Sven angrily tugging at his hair. All right, so that's Touchdown Nashville. We have finished that chapter. We have 13 minutes left to go. I have no idea where this story is going to go. Can the monkey at least... Yes, moist, Ubi. Moist. Very, very moist. Stinking monkey. Yes, indeed. Yes, the monkey is potty trained. Otherwise, he'd probably be wearing monkey poo and pee. So, there's that. Monkeys are adorable little psycho demons. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, they're kind of like human beings, only small. And slightly less articulate. But not much. Not much. Just... Nice joke there, Will. We love hanging out with you too, Timothy. Your entire family went to the Great Escape in a zoo, and while visiting the zoo, the monkey peed all over your Auntie Carmela. Awful. Oh, I'm sure that was an experience she remembers well. Apparently the monkey did not think much. I'll tell you the funniest thing that happened to me at a zoo. So my son was about 4 years old, and we took him to the Denver Zoo. We were visiting. And it was bitter cold outside, though. It was like, I don't know, 10 degrees, maybe less. But we were not going to be in town for very long, so it really wasn't something we could skip. At any rate, that's exactly what I was going to do, Ubi. So when I was younger, we had owned a couple of dogs, and I had trained these dogs to come to a specific whistle. And so while I was at the Denver Zoo, we went to where the wolves' enclosure was, and not one wolf would come out. They were like, F this, no, it's too cold, thank you. And so on a whim, I just did the whistle that I would use to call the dogs. And the wolves literally came out of the den and were looking over at us like, yeah, what? What's up? It was so funny. And then when I was 13, my older sister was obsessed with horses when I was growing up. And she had taught me how to whinny like a horse. And so when I was 13, I was with my grandfather, and we were standing out in the field at my Aunt Carolyn's house. And she had a horse, and there were horses in the area. And so I gave the whinny that my sister had taught me how to use. And then we heard the pounding of hooves, like just a horse was running full out down the road toward us. And I'm like, what in the world? And that horse just stood there in the road looking over at me like, I heard you. I heard what you said about my mother. I don't know what I said in horse language, but whatever it was, he was ready for a fight. No, not on. Well, I don't know. There you go. So, but it was much louder and it carried much further because I'm not trying to blow your ears out. But anyway, whatever I said to that horse, they were very insulted and was ready to go for a fight. I never did that again. It was funny though. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. It is hard to believe, but it has already almost been an hour and we have actually gotten quite a bit done. And poor Mortus, he is having the worst day of his life. Just from the lost luggage to the rain pour to the only thing being available is the e-bike. And he's got to get the monkey and the e-bike and the whole thing over to the hotel so he can actually get some rest and start setting up to go rescue Hawkeye. Wolves are cool, actually. Unless you're being eaten by them, in which case it's not so cool. I would not want to be eaten by a wolf. I would not want to be chased by a wolf, to be perfectly honest. All right. Yeah, the monkey has to be trained how to do something useful. We'll find out, Malachi. We'll find out as the story goes along. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been a blast. We've had a lot of fun. There's been a lot of crap going on in this story, which is perfect because, honestly, who wants to read a boring story where nothing really happens? So, we will pick this up next week. We'll see where Mortus goes from here, and hopefully his day gets better. But disasters are the best part of every story. It's not the things in life that go well that make for good stories. It's the stuff that doesn't go well, the stuff that didn't go according to plan, the stuff that messed with you. And it's how you get through those that makes the really interesting stories. That's why, if a character just has everything go their way, that's not a really good, compelling story. So think about your own life that way. You are the main character in the story of your life. And if everything went your way in life, if everything went the way you planned, if everything went the way you hoped, there would be no real story to tell. Oh, well, we first have to get a fiddle, but maybe that can be part of the story. Thanks for joining me, Will, Malachi, Timothy, and Ubi. Thank you for being my fans. Thank you for Kitty Cat who showed up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to have you guys here with me. So I'm closing out the stream now. If you missed Ubi's premiere, jump back, go watch him. He did the cover of Bon Jovi, You Give Love a Bad Name. He did that right before my stream, so if you missed it, go back and watch it. If you happen to be interested or able to render a tip, I think I put that information in the description, and if not, you can find it in some of my other videos. But thanks for watching. It's totally appreciated.